The fishery was always the mainstay of the island's economy, and even though Marachine was empty of permanent settlers by 1968, fishermen still come here every year to fish mainly for cod between April and October. National Sea Products has a plant on the island. Some of the men, now in their 60s and 70s, are still fishing the waters off Marachine.
You went over to Placentia in 68? How'd you feel about
68.
that?
I didn't feel a bit too good about it.
Why is that?
Well, it changed my way of life anyhow. My way of living, everything else.
What did you do when you went over to Placentia?
Never one thing. I was 3 years in there and earned 1 pack of cigarettes.
What was it like here, growing up here?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Everybody knew everybody else?
Sure.
Yeah.
Everyone's your friend.
What about the fishery now? How much longer are you going to be at that, do you think?
Well, what, how many years?
Yeah.
As long as I get my health. Never long that. Couldn't go at anything any better.
And if you drop in on those fishermen whose lives have centered around this island, you're going to hear some stories, like the one about the Great August Gale back in 1927.
We had an old fellow with us, about 65, Jack Stevenson from Black Harbour. And when we got married, we made that oil, and he said, "Is that the bald head of Merasheen?" And I said, "I don't think." In my mind, I don't think, he said. Yeah. "Make sure." Yeah. And I said, "No, sir, that's not the bald head of Merasheen." Yeah. "Thanks be to God," he said, "the stone head red oil." Yeah. Yeah. And he said, "What did you think of it today?" I said, "I should be asking you that." Yeah. Because I said, I was never named that. He said, "Oh, no, by God," he said, "neither was I." No. Or don't want to do it again. No. He said, "It's great to be like you." I didn't think no more than that. I was a young fella.
Traditions are well remembered.
You had to be home for Lady Day, but if you're on the Grand Banks. Well, I put that on the Grand Banks. Capes Marys and all that.
What was that about?
It was a holiday of obligation, you see.
I'm mostly garden party day.
And then it'd be a garden party day, mostly a party somehow.
Oh, yeah.
You were
But everything would stop.
Oh, yes, that was the day.
So how did that come about? How did that tradition come about?
Well, now, you know, as far as we're concerned, it was the Blessed Virgin's Day. We VRCs, we did recognise that very solidly. Yeah. In fact, he died out everywhere now, in all the nominations. That was the day.
So what would you do then? It was a real celebration. What kind of things would you be doing on
First
that?
thing, I'd start with a mass, and two, in fact, and then in the evening, a benediction, a blessed sacrament, you know. And then after that, you go to a dance. Beat her down till daylight, if you like. Yeah.
After 3 days of stormy weather, the emotional experience of seeing old homes and friends, not to mention the partying until the wee hours, the last day of the reunion turned warm and sunny. It was fitting somehow to bring this close community together in prayer.
And I think it's an opportune time for us to give real thanks to God, really from our hearts say thanks to God for this reunion, really, because I think it has done much to recapture in us who know the situation of living in isolated islands like Merasheen and Colonnet Island and O'Dear and where have you, and also knowing the sense of values that we were imbued with in those situations, that we all left places like this knowing who we were, knowing the reason for our existence.
people of Marachine were, and I believe still are, church-minded people. But church to them, I believe it's church in the best sense of the word. It's church as a community of people who work together, who recreate together. Did you notice that? In Merasheen at the reunion.
Did I ever?
Who really try to enjoy life and who pray together.
It's hard to say when a lot of these people will see each other next. Most are doubtful there will ever be a permanent settlement again on Marachine.
What would it take?
But it'll take guts. And that's not the same as the like of those people are. If they were 40 or younger, they'd be back and be glad of it. But they're the same. They're not the same caliber as they were. They're gone soft. Yeah.
I would think that 90% of the people who are from Marachine would wish to go back. I would say that many of their families that never saw Marachine before would like to go back, but this might be just sort of a sentimental journey, you know. In reality, I believe that people will not go back to Marachine. Had they stayed there, it would be a real fine community today. But it didn't happen that way.
Too soon, it seemed, the reunion was over. It was time for packing up and once again saying goodbye.
Now sometime in December, they turned out all the lights, and they closed the doors to their happy homes. They worked for all their lives. It will break your heart to see them walk to the boats to go away, as they bid farewell to Merasheen down in Placentia Bay. The houses now are all closed up, their windows no more will rise, and their doors will never open again to welcome you inside. No, you hear the sounds of laughter or the songs we used to sing. Those days are gone forever now, and so is Merasheen. I hope you're settled down by now in your homes across the bay. And although we're separated, we'll meet again someday. And from all of us who live far away, and from their children, we thank you for the happy homes we had in Merasheen.